What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's pandemic update for Thursday, May 11th, 2023. Yes, today is the day, Thursday, May 11th. Today, the pandemic emergency is expiring. It is not being continued. It's being expiring. A couple things are going to continue on, but for the most part, a lot of things are ending, and you're going to see some things that we use in our data report here. Yes, some of those things have ended as well. Let's start off first with India, though. India records 1,690 new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. They've also added another 15 deaths. Moving on to this. This has to do with monkeypox now. And we've mentioned monkeypox a few times. Remember this past Sunday, we added the new monkeypox section to our site? Well, we got some more monkeypox news for you. CDC investigating possible monkeypox resurgence amid dozens of new cases nationwide. So notice, it does not just say that there are new cases in Chicago. No. Dozens of new cases nationwide. And I did read earlier today, LA is reporting now a couple new cases of monkeypox for this year. So it's randomly starting to pop up in multiple cases. And it says here, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said Wednesday it was working with multiple health departments to investigate new monkeypox cases around the country, less than a month after officials had hailed the weekly pace of new infections slowing to zero nationwide. So wait a second, this pauses us for a second. Who knew earlier this year that there were cases going on? Hands raised if you didn't. I didn't, because we didn't hear anything about it. I didn't see anything about it either. But now that we're coming into the warmer season, I've been saying this, I think we're going to need to see a resurgence of monkeypox cases, at least through the first half of summer. And let's read on here some of what it says. Most weeks, we didn't see a single monkeypox case, maybe one or two in a higher week, but just these last couple of weeks, we saw 2, then 5, now 6 coming in. Dr. Allison Ardy, Commissioner of Chicago's Department of Health, said Tuesday of 13 newly confirmed or probable cases in Chicago. This is in Chicago. 9 of them were among men who had been fully vaccinated. So 9 out of 13 fully vaccinated. That's not good if we're seeing breakthrough cases. However, if the vaccine is able to prevent severe disease, that's a good thing. But again, I stress this. It's not good that we're seeing breakthrough cases, because who remembers with the COVID pandemic what happened? We saw breakthrough cases. Breakthrough cases lead to new variants. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Whenever you have spread of any virus, it appears that there can be the potential for mutations. And we learned that with COVID. I'm sure flu has done it through the years. Flu has been around for a very long time. And yeah, so monkeypox is not going away. One final note here on this. None of the 13 patients were hospitalized for disclosed recently traveling outside of Chicago. And just one other thing here. This is from the CDC. CDC is working with local and state health departments to investigate new monkeypox cases, some of which occurred in people who were vaccinated, as we just said. So we don't know all of the cases. I do know that Chicago has reported cases, and there has also been reported cases in LA. Outside of that, I'm unaware of where else has reported cases in the U.S. I'll keep doing research on it, though, because that's what I do here. That's how I obtain my daily pandemic update, is by doing these reports on everything. All right, Inslee, who is the governor in Washington State, has lifted the vaccine requirement. Yes, how silly. So a vaccine mandate was put in place, like many other states in the country. Vaccine mandate was put in place. People who did not comply or did not bother to get vaccinated were let go from their jobs. Now the vaccine requirement has been lifted. Will they get their jobs back? That I honestly don't know, but it's kind of silly if you ask me. So you fire them for not getting vaccinated, but now you're telling people, that's okay, you don't need to be vaccinated. I would hope they get their jobs back. But let's see about this. Now, 2.2 million Peloton exercise bikes were recalled. Immediately stop using, the government says. This is pretty significant. 2.2 million is a lot of Peloton bikes, and I have highlighted here what this is about. Peloton has received 35 reports of the seat post breaking and detaching from the bike during use, including 13 reports of injuries, including a fractured wrist, lacerations, and bruises due to falling from the bike. The Consumer Product Safety Commission said in a recall notice. Consumers should immediately stop using the recalled exercise bikes and contact Peloton for a free repair. Peloton is offering consumers a free seat post that can be self-installed. Wow, so that's not good. 2.2 million Peloton bikes. I don't know of anyone who has a Peloton bike, but if you do, tell them about this recall. And I will, of course, tweet this out. If I haven't done so already, I will definitely tweet this out. And you can retweet it and tell your friends who may have a Peloton bike. All right, moving on to this. We've been following the Jamie Foxx story now for, I want to say, about 4 weeks. And it's not sounding good at all. We still don't have a clear answer of just what happened with Jamie Foxx, but Jamie Foxx family, uh, they're preparing for the worst as actor remains hospitalized. So it's not sounding good. It's sounding as if his condition is deteriorating. After all, they are saying preparing for the worst. Jacqueline Zeman, longtime General Hospital star who played Bobby Spencer, has died at 70 years old. She did have a short battle with cancer, which is the ultimate cause of death. Alrighty, before we move on to our CDC portion of the update, there is something that we want to do today. We haven't visited news notes in some time. I want to do that today because I want to look at some numbers. These are not 100% accurate numbers. I don't think anyone's count is 100% accurate with, how some things have been deemed other than COVID. Some things say, oh, well, maybe it's COVID, maybe it's not. The point is, I just want to run through some statistics up to May 10th. Because remember, the pandemic emergency is ending. So let's see, what has happened during this pandemic? Well, reported cases were at 105 million in this country. We know that's significantly undercounted. We just know that is. 12,316 people were still in the hospital. 19,427 new cases were added yesterday. 1,493 people were in the ICU. And as of yesterday in the United States, 1,137,890 people have died from the coronavirus. And as we know, that's an undercount. Some things didn't get counted as COVID. Some ended up in the excess death category. Another 233 deaths were added to the count yesterday. That still warrants an emergency, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. The point I'm trying to make is, I think we should still be taking this serious, and I think we should still be tracking the data clearly. We shouldn't be slowing down our data tracking of this pandemic, at least not yet. At least not until we get some better treatments out. But, yep, those are the numbers so far. So, yeah, it's been a rough pandemic. Let's move on to some of pandemic's history on this day in COVID pandemic history. And on May 11th of 2020, President Trump holds a briefing in the White House Rose Garden to claim that anyone who wants to get a coronavirus test can get one, and encourages businesses around the country to reopen. He did not wear a mask that day. I mean, we hardly ever saw former President Trump, wear a mask. Taking a look at wastewater here, let's just refresh this in case there was an update since I looked at it a little bit earlier. As you know, sometimes it can update in the middle of the week. And taking a look here, the green, which represents the West Coast, is still dropping. The other three regions are relatively flat at this time. And we'll take a look at the CDC wastewater surveillance. Hopefully this is going to continue updating because this is a vital resource. And we do have some good news on this map. And that good news is, look at New York State. The upstate New York sites have come back. Not all of them, though. We're still missing the ones in far western New York along the Great Lakes, but they are back. And we do have one area of concern that I want to look at. We have this red one that just popped up. It's in New Mexico. It's in like central New Mexico. 101,750 people in this population, and that's probably just popping up red because it was probably not on the map. If you look here, it's actually the amount of COVID in the wastewater. It's actually dropping at this time. So it is good to see that amount dropping. let's do a final look at the CDC transmission map. It didn't update today because, well, it's done with. This page probably won't exist pretty soon. High transmission at the time of the last update was 557. Substantial was 354. Moderate was 1,437. Low is at 775. If it does update one more time tonight, I'll have it in tomorrow's update. I'll screenshot it in case it doesn't end up going away completely. And hopefully we still get the variant proportion nowcast update tomorrow. I'm thinking we will, but who knows? You're going to see something else in a moment that we are losing. Alright, as of the most recent update, XBB15 was 66.9%, XBB116, 12.5%, XBB191 is at 9.4%, XBB192 is at 3.7%, XBB2.3 is at 2.7%, XBB151 is at 2.4%, FD.2 is at 1.6%. Alright, New Jersey's update for today. Let's just refresh this to make sure it's still up to date. And luckily we have not lost New Jersey as of yet. Knock on wood. New confirmed cases, 173. New probable cases, 141. And oh my, lab confirmed deaths, 1. Hospital reported deaths, 6. If they're all separate, that's 7 added deaths today. So that's not good to see New Jersey adding at least 6 or 7 more deaths today. And let's take a look at some capacity in Pennsylvania real quickly. And this is really impressive for my state. Now, I don't know if they have enough staff to operate all these beds, but there's 4,883 beds available in the state of Pennsylvania. Only 251 people in the hospital. And let's take a look at Philadelphia County, which is my county. And you can see in Philadelphia County, just 19 people hospitalized. That's the lowest number since the start of the pandemic. However, I am concerned by this. Saying here, there's only 143 beds available in Philadelphia County. Remember, we've had a really high volume of EMS calls lately, and looks like a lot of those calls are being admitted to the hospital. So only 143 beds available for a population of just shy of 1.6 million in our city. So I am concerned about that. Speaking of Philadelphia, let's take a look at the EMS total. Yeah, another 763 incidents were added yesterday. So there were another 763 calls for an ambulance yesterday. You can see here in the pictures. The fire department was busy as well yesterday. Moving on to Center County, Pennsylvania. Just 2 people in the hospital. I'm going to refresh this because, nope, still not updated. So it's just 2 people in the hospital. That is not today's updates from the previous day. Quickly taking a look at New York State, 503 cases added statewide in the last 24 hours, 1.5% positivity, 1.9% was the 7-day average. Taking a look at hospitalizations in New York State, you can see here 545 people in the hospital, 53 people in the ICU. Alright, more bad news to report. This is the page I would normally show you Texas on. Can't do that today because Texas has ended their dashboard. We might be able to get some sort of a weekly update, and yes, we can. So, probable and confirmed cases, 6,278. I don't know if this is a current update or not, and it also says, if we come down here, does it say fatalities? I believe the fatalities is here. So here it is. 54 fatalities added, and 873 people are in the hospital. That's down by 55. And real quickly, doing the international update before I run out of time, South Korea just added is up to 21% increase in cases, 18% increase in deaths. Vietnam, 26% increase in cases, 57% decrease in deaths. Indonesia, 0.3% increase in cases, 18% increase in deaths. And finally, ending today, Malaysia, 53% increase in cases, and just an 11% decrease in deaths. Alrighty, folks, that does it for today's pandemic update. I want to remind you something. Just because the pandemic emergency ended today does not mean I am going away. My updates will continue from here on out. They're not stopping. There may be a gap somewhere down the line in the summertime where I take a break for a while, but my updates are continuing. So I need you to do me a favor. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. And I will see you all again next time for another update. But until I see you then, I need you to all stay safe. Have a great afternoon, everyone.